Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather McCarthy, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing why we chose Abeka's Preschool, what made us stick with it, and will we stick with it in the future. Alright, hi guys, like I said, welcome back. My name is Heather McCarthy. I am the homeschool mom to my 3-year-old little girl. This is our second year homeschooling using Abeka's Preschool program. So today I wanted to talk about why we chose Abeka for their preschool. Why we chose to go with this route instead of something more gentle or more play-based or anything like that. So when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, really why I chose Abeka was because I wanted a solid, written, scheduled, open and go curriculum. That's what works for me. I really wanted the open and go capability that I didn't see with a lot of other curriculums. A lot of the others were like, do this activity when you feel like it, do this activity when you feel like it, do this page when you feel like it. Like the other one I looked really closely at was the Good and the Beautiful preschool, which I know they are redoing, so do not take this as a judgment at all. I have not purchased their preschool. I have not seen their new preschool. But what I didn't appreciate with their curriculum, when I looked at it for my daughter is 2, or my daughter is 3 now. We started school at 2. Basically, I didn't appreciate that it started older. Their preschool isn't recommended until age 3 or 4. And I knew I wanted to start her at 2. It also didn't have enough lessons to cover a full academic school year. And to some people that might not matter, people who are more play-based, who are more like, we learn by playing, we don't want to learn through books, that kind of stuff, or through workbooks or work pages, whatever, that could work. For me, like I said, I wanted something that was a little more regimented, a little more 36 weeks, you do this Monday, you do this Tuesday, this Wednesday, this Thursday, this Friday, and it has full lesson plans and full activities for the entire school year. And Abeka does that. Literally in this teacher's guide, it lays out every single day of the week what needs to be done. That was what really drew me in, was that it wasn't just, 50 lessons, 60 lessons, 100 lessons thrown in, and there was just a casualness to it. It was more regimented, where it's 40 weeks, and these, this is what you do every single day of the week to keep me on track. And this is actually almost not even about my daughter. I feel like that sounds weird when we're talking about homeschool, but this is so about me and what I needed, because with a curriculum that doesn't have a schedule, I can 100% guarantee you it's gonna fall by the wayside in our day-to-day life. We're gonna do a lesson here and a lesson there, but chances are we're gonna get like 5 or 6 done and then we're gonna forget about it. I really needed something with a regimen and something that had a strict schedule for me to be able to stick to. So that is really why we chose Abeka. It was also one of the few curriculums I could find that started at 2. I think our only options were Abeka or Horizons that started at 2 years old. All the others said 3 or 4. And I didn't want to rush and put her into a 3 or 4-year-old course when she was 2. So we loved that they had a 2-year-old option for her, and that worked wonderfully for us. A little background, when we started doing Abeka's Preschool, my daughter was actually like 99% nonverbal. We were starting speech therapy within a couple of weeks of starting homeschool. So we started speech therapy in May. We started homeschool in August. Okay, I guess that's not a few months, but I mean, it was relatively close together in time. And when she started speech therapy, she had no words. She literally said dada, and that was it. Like completely it. I had a hard time testing her into curriculums that required her to be able to say certain words. Like the Good and the Beautiful, I think their qualifications for their preschool course, you had to be able to say apple, trash can, and something else, alligator maybe. My daughter wasn't capable of saying those words. She knew what those things were. If I told her, go to the trash can, go put this in the trash can, she would do it. but she wasn't able to say the words. So with some of them, I really struggled with placing her into the curriculum just because she wasn't talking. Where Abeka does not have a placement test, they don't have any sort of placement qualifications other than like grade and age, which actually in the future I do think is kind of a negative of Abeka, in my personal opinion. If you are switching from a public school or from another curriculum going to Abeka, it's really hard to figure out where to place your child because they don't have that placement test. But going into preschool, I felt like it actually gave me a little bit more freedom to say, well, you know, she might not be able to say these words, but I know she knows what it means. And for us, that did work out well. She was ready for the curriculum. She just didn't have the words to express some of the things. So, like I said, I did like that. I liked that there was no qualifications to start preschool, because I really kind of feel like there shouldn't be qualifications to start preschool. In the public world, there's not. So I like that. Never looked very closely at the Horizons one just because it didn't draw me in, to be completely honest. I don't know, I think I looked at it like once or twice, and it was just, honestly, it was very biblically based, and at that time we were not religious and we were not attending church. And I know Abeka is a very biblical curriculum as well. It is a very religious curriculum, but I found it almost easier to cut it out with Abeka, which we did a lot of last year, than I did looking through the previews with the Horizons curriculum. So if you are a secular homeschooler, I feel like Abeka can work for you, at least in the preschool curriculums. And to me, that was what drew me to it as well. That I could just kind of cut out the God part and work around it and still get the education. And now, I mean, having read it, it did turn us to the church, and it did lead us to go to church, which we had been debating for a while. So while it was easy to cut out, it was also easy to add back in. And I will say this year, just reading it straight through is much easier, but it was perfectly capable of being cut out last year, and you know, just kind of changed some of the wordings, and it was very simple to do. Why did we decide to stick with it for the third grade, for the 3-year-old year? Because now that she's 3, she does have other options. We could have gone to the Good and the Beautiful preschool. She is reading at that, you know, she is reading. She's not reading, she's 3. But she is speaking at that level now. She graduated speech therapy. She has a full vocabulary. I kind of wish we could go back to the nonverbal part. She talks a lot now. But yeah, we could have switched this year, and we decided to stick with Abeka. One, because we already had some of the bigger pieces. We already had the big flashcards. We already had, well, that was pretty much it. We already had the big flashcards. So that was part of the reason why we decided to stick with it. The other part was because we were seeing how much she was learning. Like I said, my daughter went into this completely nonverbal, and by the end of last year, she knew all of her colors, her shapes. She could count to 25. She recognized her numbers to 25. She learned all these different occupations and animals and stuff like that through the language development cards. She's all of a sudden like, I want to be a doggy doctor. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a dentist. Can we go to the dentist? So I really liked that the curriculum ended up including stuff like that, and that she picked up on it really well. So for my child, I mean, I just think this worked for her. It might not work for every kid. Some kids might need more of that leniency or flexibility of other curriculums. For Madison, the regimentness of this works. She actually wakes up and asks, can we go in the office and go do school? So she enjoys it a lot. And now, like last year, I thought it was fine. She was like, go do school. And she would run in here. This year, literally the second her feet hit the ground, can I get underwear? Can I go potty? Can we go do school? That's literally the order that she does, that she says things in. So she enjoys doing it. And I think she thrives with more of a schedule in her life. So Abeka gave us a little bit more of that schedule than we had without it. So we decided to do it again for the 3-year-old curriculum. And I will say, going over some of the same stuff again, at first I was like, this is gonna be boring. We're doing the exact same language development cards. We're learning the same animals. We're doing the same activities. Like when I first opened the activity pages, I was like, we did this last year. Why are we doing it again? This is what she did today. But I'm gonna say she doesn't seem to notice that we did this last year and she's doing it again. And she's doing so much better with them this year. So it's amazing to see the development and the growth that she's had over the course of the past year. So I just think it was really cool to stick with it. If you want to see more about the Abeka Preschool curriculum, if you want to know if I would recommend buying it all or what I would recommend buying, how I would recommend doing it, comment down below and let me know and I will work on that. But yeah, that is why we decided to stick with it. It was just because it was already working, so why change up a good thing? Kind of my motto, why change it if it's working? So we stuck with it for the 3-year-old program. Now, going into next year, will we be sticking with it for kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, high school, whatever? We will stick with bits and pieces of it. I do want to try other curriculums. My heart is really drawn to Knotgrass for history, and I'm really drawn to The Good and the Beautiful for language arts, so I do want to give that a shot. So we will not be sticking with the full kit of Abeka, but at the same time, it will always be in the back of my mind and on the option side that if we struggle with another curriculum, we can come to Abeka and it will probably work for us. Sorry, a toddler joined me. But yes, so I will always keep in mind that we can go to Abeka. There's nothing that I think was like wrong with it. We don't dislike it. Honestly, we love it and we recommend it to our friends. But sorry, she likes being on camera apparently. We will be trying some other curriculums just because I have curriculum FOMO. So we will be trying others, but Abeka will always be one that we consider for if we can't find what we want or if something else doesn't work. We will always be able to go back to Abeka, and I have actually seriously considered purchasing their 1st grade bundle for 1st grade. Obviously, we're nowhere near that yet. She's still very young. But it is totally always an option. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on why we chose Abeka. If you are new, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment down below and let me know, do you want to see kind of a full overview of the Abeka Preschool curriculum now that we're well into the 2nd year, or is that boring to you? Also, if you are new, comment down below and introduce yourselves. I would love to get to know you all better. But I hope I'll see you in my next video on Friday. Bye guys!